Alright, folks, coming up next, the RWL World Tag Team Championships on the line. As John Van and Guy Cormier, the originals, backed up by Sylvia Strong, face Mark and Joe Coffey, the Coffey brothers, otherwise known as Gallus, the Gaelic Chickens.
Yeah, me and my big mouth. I should never have brought that up on the air, cause now old Tex here is gonna have to struggle to keep a straight face during their matches.
Forget it, Wally. Tex is always just a bit more fun when he's trying hard to keep it together.
Okay, so anyway, the Coffey brothers, Mark and Joe, just had a shot at the Psychedelics a few weeks ago, but this time, they're in there for a chance at the big enchiladas, the World Tag Titles, which John Van and Guy Cormier have held for the last 5 years, a run nearly as impressive as Jeannie Parker's.
It's only been about 2 weeks since their last title shot. So how come they get to bites to apples so soon, Myron?
That's easy. Not enough warm bodies, and this is the last card of the year. We wanted to do it upright. And why not? After all, they got as good a shot as anybody else against the originals. Slim and none.
And it must be noted the Coffey brothers have achieved those 2 title shots in a relatively short span of time, considering how long they've been with RWL, which has not been very long at all.
Like I said, not enough warm bodies. The originals have already beaten the crap out of everybody who's come along.
Alright, we'll stand by for the party atmosphere, cause here come the originals, along with Sylvia Strong, the longest reigning World Tag Team Champions of all time in RWL. The Chicago Hammer John Van and the Staten Island Crippler Guy Cormier. Naturally accompanied by your girlfriend GB, Sylvia Strong. And what an amazing run the originals have had. They literally have whipped the hell out of the world just about 3 times. I guess having Gallus challenge them for the World Tag Team titles is not a bad thing. The Coffey brothers. Let's just keep it to the Coffey brothers, please.
Yeah, it's been a great card so far, at the risk of sounding smug. Let me ask you folks, can I cook or can I cook?
Myron, this one, ending the year, the RWL season, it is certainly a masterpiece on your behalf. Mr. Schimmelman, if I were wearing a hat, I would tip it.
Agreed. If I was wearing my 10-gallon, I'd tip that too.
With a 20-minute time limit is for the RWL World Tag Team Championships. The challengers from Glasgow, Scotland, at a combined weight of 486 pounds, the team of Joe and Mark, the Coffey brothers. Their opponents accompanied by Sylvia Strong at a combined weight of 512 pounds. From Chicago, Illinois, John Van, and from Staten Island, New York, Guy Cormier, the RWL World Tag Team Champions, the originals.
Oh, GB, no doubt Sylvia's already got the evening's watering hole picked out for tonight's victory party. You know her, she's got blind faith in the originals, and, well, why not? 5 years and change, they've been World Tag Team Champions, and that has not changed very much.
Nor is it likely to anytime soon. I don't think it's going to be the Coffey brothers, I'll tell you that.
Well, Mark Coffey gonna start it off against the Chicago Hammer, John Van. Here we go, referee Walt Roth Byrne rings the bell, and here we go. Collar and elbow tie up. Mark Coffey whipped to the original's corner almost immediately. John Van rounds him up over the shoulder, head first into the turnbuckle. He took it on the chin. John Van hard right takes down Mark Coffey. JV's winding it up. The Chicago Hammer putting the boots to Mark Coffey, big time. Whole lot of shoe prints going on. John Van moves back in on Mark Coffey. What's he gonna do now? Oh man, just slammed the leg. Okay. JV rounds up. Mark Coffey whips him to the original's corner again. He counters and finds his way out. A hard right spins him around. Guy Cormier takes a shot at him. Mark Coffey with a momentary sidewalk slam to John. And now beating his head against the canvas. Turning his attention to Guy Cormier. Guy ready for him. Counters with a right hand. John Van tags Mark Coffey in the back. Once more into the Originals corner. One more time he counters and finds his way out. Locks it up with John Van. Oh, look at this powerbomb to John Van. As Mark Coffey makes his way to his corner and tags in Joe Coffey, the big guy, in their team. John Van whipped to the ropes, and a pretty nice hip toss from Joe Coffey with a pin attempt. 1, 2. Well, no doubt, John Van getting the left shoulder up pretty quick. Joe Coffey standing there with his arms folded as Guy Cormier comes in on the tag. A couple of chops across the chest and a clothesline takes Joe Coffey down to the canvas. Guy Cormier taking a moment to appreciate the moment. Another clothesline taking Joe Coffey down one more time. Joe Coffey seated in the Originals corner as a set of machine gun boots hits his chest from Guy Cormier. The Staten Island Crippler gathers up Joe Coffey again, locks him up. Hard whip into the corner. Guy Cormier gonna field this one himself. Has him up over the shoulder, and he takes it on the chin too on the turnbuckle. Guy Cormier rounds him up for a sidewalk slam. Right now it's all the Originals as Joe Coffey tries to crawl his way to the corner. Guy Cormier right in his way and doing a whole lot of showboating here. Oh man, Guy Cormier's frosty. The Staten Island Crippler taking his time with it, but Joe Coffey gets a hold on him. Whips him to the Coffey brothers corner. Joe Coffey backing it up, and man, big old shoulder right to the face. And here comes Mark Coffey again on the tag. Guy Cormier catches him from behind, sets him up into a front cradle, takes him up over the shoulder again, and hangs him up off the top rope. Down goes Mark Coffey. Guy Cormier rounds him up. Hard whip into the Originals corner. Guy Cormier taking this one himself too. Turns it around. Mark Coffey is being flipped every which way but loose here. Here's a kick right to the calf from Guy Cormier. Mark Coffey seated in the corner. Alley-ooped out of the corner by Guy. Guy Cormier. He's in rare form tonight, man. Locks up Mark Coffey, whips him back to the Originals corner. Here comes John Van on the tag, much to the delight of Sylvia Strong. Here comes a double team. What are we going to see here? A dual powerbomb. Oh, man, folded him in half. John Van goes after Joe Coffey, too. Takes himself out onto the apron and slams Joe Coffey against the lip of the apron. Mark Coffey still laid out on the Original side of the ring on the outside. The referee counting as John rounds him up. Pitched him into Sylvia Strong by accident. That was not supposed to happen. Hard right hand from Mark Coffey takes John Van down to the floor. And now putting the boots to the hands and fingers of the Chicago Hammer. Mark Coffey gathers him up again. Has him up for a sidewalk slam and nails it. Referee still counting here. John puts on the brakes, gets a hold of Mark Coffey, hurls him towards his side of the ring on the outside. Referee still counting as John makes his way back inside. Mark Coffey follows him in. Misses with the right. Quick counter from Mark Coffey. Tries for the bear hug, but no dice, gets slammed down to the canvas. John Van flips him over, covers and hooks a leg. 1, 2. Shut up! The Originals wrapping this one up pretty quick to retain the title.
The time was 5 minutes and 18 seconds. Your winners and still World Tag Team Champions, the Originals.
And so the O's have done it yet again. Guy Cormier and John Van retaining the RWL World Tag Team Championships and making fairly short work of it. Wrapping this one up for an early victory party for the Stronghold this evening. And I'm sure Mr. Bianco will be part of that party.
Let's not count the party hats just yet, Don. Power and Beauty still have to defend the women's world tags against Las Reinas, with the belts on the line for Frankie and Marta. and Josie and Lisa's unbeaten streak. Also potentially on the chopping block. And we'll be right back.